everyone, it's Liz here at Out in the Breck. Thank you for watching this video. Okay, in this video we're going to cover the conveyancing history of Station House from when the land was first registered in the Register of Scotland. We're going to begin first, just to help those who don't know where we are geographically in the world, to let you know a bit of geographical information as to where Out in the Breck Station and Station House is. Okay, Station House and Out in the Breck Station is located within a large private forestry estate. This forestry estate is owned by a company called Caledonia Forest Land Investment Limited. The forestry estate, as I said, is a private estate. It's privately owned, and the nearest public road to the forestry estate is Westerdale, which is the B870, which is approximately 7 to 8 miles away. The forestry estate that's now owned by Caledonia Forest Land Investment Limited used to form part of a much larger plot, which was called the Lochdew Estate. This larger plot, which is the original estate, was owned by a private family called the Sinclairs. Over the decades, the original Lochdew Estate has been split off and sold in part to the forestry companies by the Sinclair family, who owned the original estate. It's important for everybody to know that this private estate that was owned originally by the Sinclair family and later by the forestry companies has never been owned by the railway companies. The railway companies were given permission by the Sinclair family to use their land. None of this land has ever been owned by the railway companies. The Lochdew Estate itself, the larger property, is registered in the old Sassine Register, the General Sassine Register of Scotland. In 2014, an area of land was split off from the original estate, Lochdew, by the forestry company that owned the land at that time. The forestry company was called OS Forestry UK Limited, which used to be called Fountains Forestry Limited. They just changed the name. So what the forestry company did in 2014, they took an area of land, a plot of land, out of the bigger estate, the original estate, Lochdew, and they registered this area of land for the first time in the Register of Scotland under title number CTH 5589. Station House, our property, formed part of this title CTH 5589 and included 2 other properties on the estate. So when it was first registered, that area of land, under title number CTH 5589, it was owned by the forestry company OCS Forestry UK Limited. Now in 2016, 2 years later after that area of land was first registered on the Registers of Scotland, OSC Forestry UK Limited split off Station House and the 2 other properties from the title CTH 5589 and sold these 3 properties to a private individual. Now if you see here, we're showing you the deed and the deed plan that came with the deed between OSC Forestry UK Limited and the private individual. And as you can see in the deed plan, that Station House, this is the deed plan for Station House property, covers an extent of 0.43 acres. This deed and plan for Station House and the two other properties was submitted by the private individual for registration to the Register of Scotland under title number CTH 7265. Then in 2019, Station House was further split off as a standalone property from that title CTH 7265. And the private individual that owned that title 7265 transferred Station House as a standalone property to the previous occupants of Station House, the people that lived here before us and sold Station House to us. Again, you can see here, this is the deed and the deed plan that came with the deed, and this is between the private individual and the previous occupants of Station House. And again, it's the same deed plan that was in the deed between UK Forestry Limited and the private individual. And again, the deed plan shows that the extent of Station House that was being registered was 0.43 acres.
Same boundaries as it is now.
Which is the same boundaries as the property now. So when that property, Station House, was transferred as a standalone property to the previous occupants, they then submitted their deed and deed plan for registration to the Register of Scotland under title number CTH 7726, which is our title number. Then in 2021, the title CTH 7726 was transferred to Ian, along with the title extent for Station House, which was 0.43 acres of land.
The same boundaries.
Which is the same boundaries that you now see on the Register of Scotland for our property Station House. And that's been confirmed by our surveyor in the survey report. And the plot of land that was registered for Station House, as you know, and as confirmed by our surveyor, includes the whole of the driveway. We own the driveway, not Network Rail. So just to put everything into context, so from 2014 to 2021, there was a minimum of 7 conveyancing solicitors involved in the registration of Station House in the Registers of Scotland, and a minimum of 2 surveyors involved in that process. Well, 3 now, because we've had our own surveyor survey our title now, which confirms that the driveway is included in our title extent. And of those 7 conveyancing solicitors and 3 surveyors, not one of them identified issues with the boundaries. Due diligence was done. There is nothing wrong with our title. It's been registered properly and due diligence has been followed. We own the driveway, Network Rail don't.
You just reminded me of something then as well. When we spoke to, when we were here last, we spoke about the solicitor who gave us the great advice, who told us that we were in pole position because we had a registered title.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't say in that video that he said to us, he said it's not up to us to perfect our title. Do you remember?
That's right. That partner of that solicitor firm that we talked about in the solicitor's video that we did last week, he said to us, you're in pole position, your title's registered, and it's not for us to perfect our registered title. Our title is perfect, and that's the evidence.
So also, just recently, we're into 2025 now, so a few months ago, 2024, Network Rail just decided to claim our driveway and to claim to own our driveway and suggest that there's something wrong with our boundaries, because it's all just fabricated. It's a fabricated lie, and they're working underhanded, aren't they, Liz?
Yep, they are. The Network Rail is
Bullies.
Network Rail are bullies. Network Rail are being dishonest. They're misleading the public. Network Rail know already they do not own our driveway. The evidence speaks for itself, and we appreciate people that can see the truth.
The land situation here is not complex, really. It's
not complicated.
Just like a professional said in our comments lately, which we've heard before from professionals, it's clear cut who owns our driveway.
And that's the evidence. Thanks everyone for watching us, and we really appreciate you supporting us and following our channel. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Bye bye.